this is a big trip. This is a very, very pivotal week for the Knicks. What do they need to do to get some dubs out there on the road?
The one thing I want to see on the road is the continued evolution of Mitchell Robinson. I feel like in the past several games, he's really shown that he can be a dominant force on both ends of the floor. Defensively, I mean, obviously everyone saw John Morant try to take off on him, and he probably finishes over 99% of other centers, but Mitchell Robinson wasn't having it. And on the other side of the court, he's been finishing everything in the paint. He's always, throughout his entire career, been a high percentage shooter, and if we can continue to feed him and keep him involved in the offense, I think the defense will come, and collectively, the team defense will follow Mitchell Robinson's lead.
I think, part of that, and talking to Mitch after the game, was that he's playing at a really high level of confidence right now. He feels like he's in shape to where he wants to be. And I'm glad that you also mentioned him offensively, because, a lot of times with Mitch, we think about the defense, but with him, he's such a crucial part of the offense when he's getting the guys going and setting great screens for RJ Barrett. That's something that RJ has talked a lot about lately, that he's made his life a lot easier when he sets those solid screens. He's aggressive with those. So I think, yes, let's also add 3 blocks because they're going to need at least 3 of those from him this week on the road each and every night.
That's right. And in addition to other players that I want to see continue to grow on this road trip, I want to see what Quentin Grimes comes up in the next couple of weeks, right? Like Quentin Grimes has been elated by Tom Thibodeau and just getting so much praise for his effort in practice, and it's showing in games as well. And the one thing I really want to see out of Quentin Grimes is seeing what he can do off the dribble. I feel like everybody kind of has the scouting reports out on Quentin Grimes, right? Like spot up shooter, gets it out quick, and now teams are starting to play for that. What I've seen from Grimes lately is getting to the cup and creating off the dribble, and that hesitation dribble that looks really good on him as well. I want to see how much more Quentin Grimes could evolve in his rookie year, especially as an off the dribble creator, because if the Knicks can get somebody else like that can create their own shot, maybe the season takes a turn for the better.
Absolutely. And I think he's probably glad to hear you say that, because he came into this league saying, I don't just want to be a 3-and-D guy, and that he wants to prove too that he can be a playmaker. And I think we're seeing nothing but confidence from him. So I think that is the next step in his evolution. It's something that he's spoken about recently. And I think for him, there's just a comfort level, not only playing with the bench unit, but also the starters. He's starting to earn time in both mixes, and I think it's been really good for him. He's told me lately that it's now to the point where he understands what he needs to do, but it's about making the guys around him better. And I think that sort of brings me to my next point, which is this Knicks team needs to play with a lot of grit and togetherness, especially that starting unit, when we've seen them moving the ball the way that they have over the past week with some of the amazing assisting and passing that we've seen. They have been clicking in a way that needs to continue out there on the road.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Rebecca. I feel like this is one of those road trips that could really define the season for the Knicks. They're kind of on the brink right now as far as being one of those play-in teams or being able to, be on the outside looking in. And I feel like that, not just depending on how good they play and if they win or lose, but what comes of these games. They're going to have a real barometer test against the teams like Golden State, teams like Denver, Utah, teams that figure to be in the mix for an NBA championship. Mm-hmm. And if they could come out of that very tough road stretch, either break it even or being slightly above or below that, maybe this season could still have some postseason success. But other than that, it's going to be a really tough sledding for the Knicks coming up on this road trip.
It is, but I think we've seen some good things from them. And I think now it's just a matter of them putting all of those good things together. And I think they could compete hard out on the road. And, going back to RJ Barrett, I think it's going to be key that he continues what he did in January here in February. And when I asked him to sum up his January for me, he said aggressive. That was the word he used to describe his January. And it was a perfect word, very fitting. That's what he was. And we need to continue to see that. in February. And I'll leave you with this quick story, Kaz. He told me that the defenses are starting to play him a little bit more aggressively as well. And they're really trying to take his left hand away. But what teams forget, RJ Barrett is actually a righty. So taking his left away and forcing him right is not a weakness. And he told me the story that back when he was a kid, he used to shoot left, he used to shoot right. And he had a shooting coach tell him, if you feel just as well going one way versus the other, go left because it's more rare. So that's what he did. But he's still right-handed. Everything he does in his everyday life is still righty. So for him, he said they're forcing him right and it feels comfortable. But he also said he can easily switch back to left and all that good stuff. So the fact that he is entirely ambidextrous is such a huge advantage when teams think that that's going to slow him down.
Well, I feel like that's music to Knicks fans' ears, especially with the continued evolution of RJ Barrett. And if the Knicks want to have a future, not just this season, but seasons going forward, his growth is potentially the most important thing for this entire franchise. But I'll leave you with this, Rebecca. The biggest honor of my MSG career thus far is having your last assignment before going on maternity leave, okay? So congratulations on the little one. Can't wait to see you back here, but take your time, enjoy the day. And we love you, Rebecca, all right? So can't wait for you to be back.